Hey guys, Derrick Gates here from Remnant Revival Center in Los Angeles, California. I literally just flew in from Kansas City. Had a couple meetings there last Friday and Saturday, and really good meetings. But people have been wanting me to weigh in on the IHOP. I don't know what you call it, situation issue. Mike Bickle, IHOP, that whole thing. And I've not really addressed it directly, but I have addressed it indirectly. And my stance indirectly is if we would stop worshiping, let's not say worshiping, let's say idolizing leaders, people wouldn't be as let down or just devastated when these things happen. I'm not saying it won't happen as far as being devastated or let down or hurt. That's always going to be an emotion that we go through when leaders fail. But we're promised that people will fall. Man will let us down, but Jesus will not let us down. My concern had been hearing people thinking that God had never spoke to them. God was not in it. And I just caution people, first of all, that just because man let you down doesn't mean that God did not speak concerning a man, through a man, speak to you in the movement, in that prayer room. That does not mean that, because it boils down to this. Was it God's idea for the prayer room, or was it Mike Bickle's idea for the prayer room? I think it was God's idea for the prayer room and the prayer movement. And, you've had, I don't know how many years now, 20 plus years of night and day prayer, 24/7, 365 days a year, prayer going out for the nations, that happened out of God speaking that into existence. Now, I will say, somebody who pastored in Kansas City for many years, one of the things that was always very frustrating, and I just didn't like it, was people would get a little cultish about IHOP. And let me just define that for you. Like, basically, if you weren't IHOP, then you weren't a ministry that was worth investing in. Many people were like that. I would say a majority of spirit-filled Christians in Kansas City, we would encounter that kind of attitude. And basically, I think that came from the leadership from IHOP pushing that they were the premier ministry, especially when it came to prayer and fasting and intercession for the nations. And so if you were not IHOP, then people would not take you seriously. Or this is what happened to us a lot, was people, we even had it said over the weekend that we were a respite for people from IHOP. People would come to our church to have a rest from IHOP, but the problem was their time, their treasure, and their talent still went to IHOP because that was the premier ministry. So it's hard for other ministries to build a movement in Kansas City when there's the attitude in town that kind of, and I don't know that it ever directly came from the leaders, but it was surely something that was indirectly pushed. If you weren't joined in at the hip in the prophetic history of IHOP or the prophetic history of that movement, then you were not part of the club. You were in the clique. And that was always frustrating. But, as far as, everything else goes, my opinion is still the same. If God spoke it to you, then it was God. If it was a man that spoke it to you, then take it to God. Don't throw everything out. Don't throw the baby out with the dishwater. And just seek the Lord. Ask him, was it you that spoke something to me, or was it man? And I believe that most people are going to find that it was God that spoke to them. So anyway, God bless you guys. I hope you guys had a wonderful holiday and have an amazing 2024 as God moves in your life and in the lives of those in your family. Peace out and shalom, everybody.